Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to learn the last topic of the fabrications, that are brazing and the soldering processes. So first we are going to see the brazing process. The joining of the two metals pieces by the application of heat and with a special filler metal. That filler metals are called as spelters, which are having a melting point above 400 degrees Celsius, but which is lower than the melting point of the parts that we are going to join. It's called as the brazing process. And the copper base and the silver base alloys, they are generally used as a filler metals for the brazing applications. In the brazing, the two metal pieces that we need to join, they are first cleaned to remove all the grease or the oxides which are present on that pieces. The parts are then fitted together along the line of joint, and they are held in that position by some with the help of any clamp or any other holding devices. The fluxes is applied on the joint and then heated to the temperature above the melting point of the spelter. Generally it is above 400 degrees Celsius. And when the spelter is applied to the joint, it flows throughout the joint by the capillary action. There are different processes by which the heat for the brazing may be applied. That processes are torch brazing, furnace brazing, electric brazing, and a deep brazing. In case of the torch brazing, when the heating is done by the means of oxyacetylene torch, that brazing is called as the torch brazing. And this is used for the brazing of small number of parts. Second one is the furnace brazing, in which the heat is done in the furnace, and this brazing is said to be a furnace brazing, and generally this is used where the mass production of the small parts is you need to do. Third one is the electric brazing, when the heating is done by an arc resistance or induction heating, then the brazing is called as the electric brazing, and this is used for the large quantity production. And the last one is the deep brazing, when the heating is consist of dipping the piece with the spelter, which is pre-placed at the joint, and into the bath of the hot molten salt. Then that kind of brazing is called as the deep brazing, and this is generally used for the large scale production. So in this brazing, we are going to join the two metal pieces, but the filler is having a melting point above 400 degrees Celsius, but lower than the melting point of the other parts that we are going to join. Next process is the soldering one. See, the soldering is the process in which two metal pieces are joined by a means of heat and a filler metal. Here the melting point of filler metal is lower than the melting point of the metal that you need to join, and that is below 400 degrees Celsius. In case of the brazing, it is above 400 degrees Celsius, but in case of the soldering, that melting point is below 400 degrees Celsius, and that process of joining is called as the soft soldering. The filler metal, they are known as a solder, and it is an alloy of a lead and the tin. The solders generally contain 45 to 62% of tin for the general purpose solder of fine quality, and they have relatively rapid solidification properties. The solder contains 50% of lead and 50% of tin is recommended for the stainless steel, though the solders up to 90% of tin that also be used. The higher the tin solders have preferred because of the greater strength and more silvery appearance, and there is also improved corrosion resistance. A suitable flux is always used in case of the soft soldering in order to remove the oxides which are already present on the work surface and to prevent further oxidations while the joint is being heated. The fluxes includes rosin plus alcohol and zinc chloride and ammonium chlorides. There are many methods of heating the base metals and melting the solder and the flux, but the oldest and the most widely used method of heating for the soldering is by means of the soldering iron. It is a simple one, effective and inexpensive tool which consists of a heat insulated handle at the one end and a copper tip at the other end. A bit of soldering iron may be heated electrically or in a gas flame, or in some cases it may be heated in a coke fire furnace. The parts to be joined, they are cleaned to remove any foreign matter such as oil, grease or scale or dirt which is present on them. Then this cleaning may be done with the help of scraping, filing or with the emery cloth, and it can be done also chemically. It can also be cleaned, and most pickling chemicals they are generally used for the cleanings are for iron and the steel. Generally a solution of 10% sulfuric acid is used. Also for the brass, for copper and stainless steel, for the copper dilute sulfuric acid is used, and in case of the stainless steel the mixture of sulfuric acid, nitric acid and water is used. Here they are generally mixed in the percentage, like the sulfuric acid is a 3 part, nitric acid as a 1 part and water as a 10 part. So after the cleaning process has been done, the parts are arranged properly in aligned position where the joining has to be done, and a bit of soldering iron is heated, cleaned and dipped in the flux and then rubbed on the solder to pick up a small quantity of solder with it and then deposited gently along the joint. The soft soldering, it is extensively used for making the electric connections, then hermetic sealing of a metal containers, then joining the lead pipe and copper tubing, also filling the casting imperfections and repair work. The most engineering metals which can be joined by soft soldering, they are iron, steel, copper, brass, nickel and the molten metal. And when silver alloys with tin, it is used as a solder to join the parts, then it is known as a hard soldering. In case of the soft soldering, the tin is used and the lead is used. The temperature of various hard soldering solders, it may vary from 600 to 900 degrees Celsius, and in hard soldering the blowtorch is used for the heating purposes. So this is all about the soldering and the brazing process. Thank you.